The Byzantine Empire. The Byzantine Empire. Today you will learn about the Byzantine Empire in the East. This great empire straddled two continents, Europe and Asia. It lasted from 500 to 1453 CE, when it was conquered by the Ottoman Turks. The Byzantine Empire was the continuation of the Roman Empire in the East. In 330 CE, the Emperor Constantine moved his capital from Rome to the ancient city of Byzantium. The city was an old Greek trading colony on the eastern edge of Europe. Constantine called his capital New Rome, but it soon became known as Constantinople, Greek for Constantine's city. After Constantine's reign, control of the huge empire was usually divided between two emperors. One was based in Rome and one in Constantinople. After the fall of Rome, the eastern half of the empire continued for another 1,000 years. Today, we call this eastern empire the Byzantine Empire, after Byzantium, the original name of its capital city. East and West remained connected for a time through a shared Christian faith, but the church in the East developed its own unique way. It became known as the Eastern Orthodox Church. Over time, Byzantine emperors and church officials came into conflict with the Pope in Rome. The conflict eventually led to a permanent split between Eastern Orthodox Church and the Roman Catholic Church. Constantinople. Constantinople was more than 800 miles to the east of Rome. Why did Constantine choose this site to be the capital of the Roman Empire? One reason was that the site was easy to defend. It was surrounded on three sides by water. The Byzantines fashioned a chain across the city's harbor to guard against seafaring intruders. Miles of walls, fortified by watchtowers and gates, made invasion by land or sea difficult. Constantinople also stood at the crossroads of Europe and Asia, and the many sea and overland trade routes linking east and west. Under the Byzantines, this location helped make the city and some of its citizens fabulously wealthy. For more than 700 years, Constantinople was the richest and most elegant city in the Mediterranean region. Ivory, silk, furs, perfumes, and other luxury items flowed through its markets. A French soldier who saw the city in 1204 exclaimed, "One could not believe there was so rich a city in all the world." At its height, Constantinople was home to around 1 million people. The city's language and culture were Greek, but traders and visitors spoke many languages. Ships crowded the city's harbor, loaded with goods. The city's streets, some narrow and twisting, some grand and broad, teemed with camel and mule trains. Life in Constantinople was more advanced than in Western Europe. The city boasted a sewer system, rare in medieval times. Social services were provided by hospitals, homes for the elderly, and orphanages. Despite the luxuries enjoyed by the rich, many people lived in poverty. The emperor gave bread to those who could not find work. In exchange, the unemployed performed such tasks as sweeping the streets and weeding public gardens. Almost everyone attended the exciting chariot races at a stadium called the Hippodrome. Two chariot teams, one wearing blue and the other green, were fierce rivals. In Constantinople and other cities, many people belonged to opposing groups called the Blues and Greens after the chariot teams. At times, the rivalry between Blues and Greens erupted in deadly street fighting, but in 532, the two groups united in a rebellion that destroyed much of Constantinople. You'll find out what happened in the next section. The reign of Justinian I. One of the greatest Byzantine emperors was Justinian I, whose long reign lasted from 527 to 565. But Justinian's reign nearly came to an abrupt end much sooner. In January 532, the emperor and his beautiful wife, Theodora, were attending the chariot races at the Hippodrome. In the past, Blues and Greens at the races had often fought with each other. This time, however, both groups were upset over the arrests of some of their members. To Justinian's horror, they united in denouncing him. Fighting broke out, spilled into the streets, and escalated into a full-scale rebellion. The rioting continued for a week while Justinian and Theodora hid in the palace. Much of the city was in flames. Justinian's advisors wanted him to flee the city. Theodora, however, urged him to stay and fight. With her encouragement, Justinian put down the revolt. According to the official court historian Procopius, 30,000 people were killed in the fighting. Constantinople lay in ruins. Justinian was determined to rebuild the city on an even grander scale than before. He put huge sums of money into public works. Soon, Constantinople had new bridges, public baths, parks, roads, and hospitals. The emperor also built many grand churches, including the magnificent Hagia Sophia, or Holy Wisdom. Today, this great cathedral is one of the most famous buildings in the world. Besides rebuilding Constantinople, Justinian tried to reclaim some of the empire's lost territory. He launched military campaigns that, for a time, won back parts of North Africa, Italy, and southeastern Spain. Justinian is most famous, however, for creating a systematic body of law. Under his direction, a committee studied the thousands of laws the Byzantines had inherited from the Roman Empire. They revised outdated and confusing laws. They also made improvements, such as extending women's property rights. The result of their work is known as Justinian's Code. It became the basis for many legal codes in the Western world.